I was quite surprised you picked that movie actually, because my review now is something quite interesting. It's a very recent one at that. It's just been out like in the cinemas like a couple of weeks ago, and it's one movie that, to be honest, I thought I would never ever get to see because I thought they pretty much said it in the first movie. And why do we need four more sequels? Yeah, that's right. I just saw Fast Five.
No, no.
Really?
I got to see Fast Five. Now,
Why?
maybe I don't know why actually. I thought I went there kind of dragged along by a friend of mine who's actually a humongous fan of car movies, which already says to myself, going, okay, all right, here we go. It's going to be mindless and dumb. I'll go along with it. Oh my God, I had absolutely no idea how mindless and dumb this movie was going to get. Um,
Really?
the,
Look at the
the,
title.
no, but it's
The
not just
people that
that.
go to see it can't count up to five. They're confused by it already.
It's even worse by this because you think dumb. When you think really dumb, unless they're self-knowingly dumb, like something like, I don't know, Shoot 'em Up, for example, that's so knowingly dumb that it takes the piss. This one really defies so much logic. Now, when you say when Jack broke down a few minutes ago when I mentioned Wild Wild West, this one actually nearly takes the fucking biscuit. Wow. How can I describe this movie? Okay. When you think of the Fast and Furious movies, what's the first thing that comes into your head?
Retardation.
Second thing that comes into your head.
Cars.
Thank you. And do you know what? You're thinking cars, car racing. You think that. This movie is no longer about the car racing. It is basically the most retarded. I got it. This is the best way to. This is Ocean's 11 for 4-year-olds. It's no like about it as well. It's come to this point. How can I describe the plot very simply, right? Everyone who somehow magically survived the reunion movie that was Fast and Furious 4 has also all run away, and they're all now in Rio. Oh, great. Oh, Rio de Janeiro, the fun thing. We know it's Rio de Janeiro because we're constantly reminded by that gigantic Jesus statue every 10 minutes. We say, yes, we know we're in Brazil. And by the way, I doubt we have any Brazilian fans, but if you guys are in Brazil and you hear this, just to tell you right now, Fast and Furious 5 don't really give you a good light. They don't really show Brazilians in a good light in the slightest. And so all these like people like from Fast and Furious 4 have ran away to Rio and hiding and now become convicts and stuff. And then what they do is you know what, we need a bigger reunion. So they get people from the other movies that haven't shown up in the previous installment and just randomly shove them in there and say, okay, now this is what we're gonna do in order to get more money and all this kind of stuff. We're gonna pull off a gigantic heist. A humongous heist. Okay, fine, all right, this kind of thing. But the heist barely happens, and most of the movie is literally all these previous characters going, but we can't do this, man. You know why? Because we're a family. We're a family. Where's the honor in our family? And oh, how testosterone filled. And my bloody God. I will say it's on its behalf and benefit. All right, on its benefit, I do say
cars.
The cars. They're pretty good looking, and there are 2 car races only, and they're very, very small. There is a third chase down a road kind of thing, but it involves the most illogical thing in the history of time. I think you might have seen this in the trailer, if you've seen the trailer. 2 cars chain themselves up to a gigantic vault and drive it down a very, very busy road.
Do they go through boxes and carts of fruit?
Boxes, buildings, you fucking name it. They go through everything.
Carts of fruit, though. We need carts of fruit. It's not a proper car movie.
It's you could have pretty much put them in there anyway. It's ridiculous. I mean, no way can 2 cars only lift a fucking vault that fucking big down a fucking road that fucking fast. Oh, it's basically the way I'm trying to say is the logic, the physics in this film is preposterous. There's a lot of homoeroticism in what you expect in something starring Vin fucking Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is one of the movies. Every time he's in a film, it just oozes homoeroticism. Don't know why, it just does. Especially, like I said, there's a lot of ranting and banting about honor and family and why we not do this together, man. And sort of like my car is bigger than your car kind of conversations. It's like I'll say half so why can't you just whip your cocks out and have a cuddle? Why is this not happening?
Hey, that's not
Diesel get on.
This is the thing. There's only two good things in this movie. One is is some of the action sequences that even I said they're completely illogical. I do admit they are entertaining if you switch your brain off to be one of a 9-year-old. But then you have The Rock, the only good thing in this movie.
Motherfucking yeah!
It's true. The Rock is actually, for the first time I can ever properly say this, he is the only really good thing in this film. He's actually, it's fantastic. He oozes badass testosterone, manliness, whatever it is, like obviously like everything else in the film. But he's actually got the best lines. He's actually the most developed character. He actually makes sense. And there's a gigantic fight with him and Vin Diesel that lasts 5 minutes. And it is the best 5 minutes of the film. And this is only 5 minutes in a movie that's 2 hours, 10 minutes long. This movie is so long and so padded, with half of it, again, just being bunches of manly douchebag dialogue, being douchey. It is just, if you want, I say about Fast and Furious 5, if you switch off your brain and act like a 6-year-old, you will love it to bits. If you like the previous movies, you might like it, but you'll be majorly disappointed that there's no car chases in it, oddly enough. For a movie that's about cars, there's very little to do with cars. They're just people talk about cars, which is almost like a hard-on for a mechanic. But you don't want that. You want the car chases. You want the actual car racing. We don't get that in this. And if you really want to know the best thing in a movie, just wait a couple of weeks or so, and then just find it on YouTube, Vin Diesel versus The Rock. You would have seen the best thing in the film. So avoid this like the plague. And I'm not saying just give it a chance anyway, even if it is an Ocean's 11's ripoff. No, just don't.
Hey, Johan, I'm going to stop you there. I mean, I'm really happy for you. I'm going to let you finish, but basically, I know it's old, but I have to use it. Basically, what you've just said, I would agree with, even without seeing the movie, I would agree with. But having randomly Wikipedia'd the Fast Five, I have come with a startling realization.
Go for it.
Everybody else seems to like it.
That's the thing. I really don't.
It currently has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, 67 Metacritic, and Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, praising the film's skillfully assembled 130 minutes.
No. This is the thing. Visually, it looks fine as it is, and it actually doesn't use that much CGI, and the action sequences are very well designed, I have to admit that. But you can't go on a movie relying on this. And the thing is, the Fast and the Furious film made its point in the first film, right? And you know what saddens me even more? There's already plans for a 6th one.
Oh, hello, my name's Vin Diesel. I did The Pacifier, then realised that destroyed my career. So then I decided I would do Chronicles of Riddick, and then that destroyed my career even more. So I thought, well, looks like I'm going to have to go back to the franchises that made my career, do Babylon AD on the side, and then realise that was a terrible decision as well. In fact, my life is a terrible decision. Why am I even here?
He is such a useless piece of space, Vin Diesel. I'm sorry. I could do very well without Vin Diesel. He is no. And this movie pretty much sums it up, that with a movie with no characters whatsoever, it seems like a gigantic fucking reunion gig that is done even worse than they do in Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. Because, you know, that in Ocean's 12 and 13 and all that kind of stuff, you'd think after 11, you think you proved the point. It's a remake, but then they start making sequels of it. And it just seems like best friends having a really damn good time. This one is like, here's a bunch of friends from previous movies, and we're trying to have a damn good time too, but we have none of the charisma, none of the high class,
and it looks really forced.
And it's really fucking forced with conversations such as honor and cars and douchebaggery. Oh, fuck it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've officially deflated.